Hello, hello. Okay, so we're going to use this news website and we're going to explore this news story. And the story is titled Man Uses Bucket Truck to Visit Mom's Third Floor Window. All right, before we get into it, I wanted to cite the source. It's from upi.com. All right, and I'm in the section about odd news. Right? So when we say odd, I'm not talking about odd numbers. I'm talking about strange, right? So if something is odd, we could say it's different from what is usual or expected. Strange. And wow, look how many ways there are to say odd. Strange, peculiar, weird, queer, funny, bizarre, eccentric, unusual, abnormal, idiosyncratic, unconventional, outlandish, offbeat, freakish, quirky, quaint. The list goes on and on. Different ways to say odd. Okay, so we're looking at an odd news story. When we say odd news in quotes, odd news is just something that's out of the ordinary. It's a little bit extra, special. It could be good or bad, or just something that we haven't seen before. Okay, so once again, the headline is Man Uses Bucket Truck to Visit Mom's Third Floor Window. Right? So let's take a look. What is a bucket truck? When I think of bucket truck, I think often of a utility truck, but we'll see if there's a difference. Bucket truck. Okay, so this is the truck. It's usually a big truck, heavy truck. They anchor it to the ground so it's stable, right? Or they put out the foot plant so it stays stable while they're lifting up the person. So this part of it is called the bucket. And while it's down, someone climbs into it. They have controls, so the person who's up in the bucket can actually control it when it's moving around. And yeah, so they can work on the power lines, they can go up on the roof, they can do trees, they can do all of this stuff. Let's take a look. Here you go. Let's see, what do we say? Bucket truck to fix power lines. Okay, here we go, good one. So we have the power lines and we have the bucket truck that's been set up over here, and the person is up there and they are, fixing the power lines. Okay. Right? So I said that I think would call it a utility truck. Let's see if I was right or wrong. Take a look. So it's a utility truck, but this one doesn't have a bucket. So let's say with bucket. Ooh, bucket lift. Okay. All right. So utility truck is kind of the all-purpose vehicle where they can put all the tools and all that stuff in, but it might also have a bucket on top and bring someone up. Okay, so let's get back to our story. So man uses bucket truck to visit mom's third floor window. So it must be this man's mother, and she is up on the third floor, right? All right, so there's a video. All right, let's play it, see what happens. Move it up a little bit. And I don't hear any audio, so maybe it's just images, but let's check it out. So I see, it looks like it's winter. No snow, but this time of year it's quite, well, I don't know if it's a long time ago or not. But either way, no leaves on the trees, and what's happening? There we are. And we have a guy, he's in the bucket truck, right? And the truck's parked over here, and they stretched out the bucket so that he's up at the window. And I imagine that's where his mother is living, and he wanted to visit her. We haven't read the story yet, but we can probably guess that he did it because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, right? Interesting, right? He could call on the phone, but he goes in person. All right, so enough about my thoughts. Let's get to the story, okay? Here we go. So April 2nd, all right, today I'm filming this. It's April 3rd, so this was just yesterday. Wonderful. Okay, here we go. An Ohio man unable to visit his mother's nursing home due to coronavirus lockdown used a tree trimming bucket truck to visit her third floor window. All right, so let's take it apart. Tree trimming bucket truck. Here we go. So they're going to use that bucket truck to trim the trees. And if we trim something, It could be for trees, it could be plants, it could be hair, right? Maybe people have long hair and you just get a trim, so it's still long, but they just kind of even out the bottoms. They trim something. See what happens if we put it into the dictionary. Trim. We're looking for a verb, an action. All right, there you go. Make something neat or of the required size or form by cutting away irregular or unwanted parts. A lot of words there, but it just means to cut things and trim. Trim the bushes. That's very common. Take a look. Trim the bushes. There you go. So you can use the machine or the big scissors, whatever, but trim. Okay, there we go. So we used a tree trimming bucket to visit her third floor window. You saw in the pictures, right? There's the bucket, and she lives on the third floor. Okay. Charlie Adams, owner of Adams Tree Preservation in Youngstown, said he wanted to visit his mother, Julie, who's 80 years old, at Windsor Estates Assisted Living in New Middleton. But the facility is on lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic, with no visitors allowed inside and no residents allowed to leave. Maybe I should just use my mouse instead of highlighting. All right. So Charlie Adams, owner of the Adams Tree Preservation. So Adams Tree Preservation must be some sort of business where they go around and they trim the trees, they cut the trees. People probably say, hey, this tree fell down, come take care of it. And in Youngstown, I think it was Ohio, right? So we're in Ohio. In case you're not familiar where Ohio is, let's see, Ohio on US map. See if I can type here. Okay, so Ohio is right there. Okay, so that is Ohio, close to Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Kentucky. Right. Okay, so his name is Charlie, and he wanted to visit his mom, Julie, who's 80. Right, so she probably can't move around too easy, and she's in the nursing home or the place for old people to live, and it's called Windsor Estates Assisted Living. All right. Assisted living, what I remember it was used to be called a nursing home, but assisted living sounds better because it's probably more appropriate too, because older people, they might still be able to take care of themselves a lot, but they know they're getting older, so they move into some place where they can have someone who can quick be there if they need them, right? Nursing home, I usually think of it's more like they're really old and they can't move around and take care of themselves, right? So assisted living, I think, is more independent. Okay, so the facility is on lockdown. In other words, lockdown means you can't come in and you can't go out, right? So they're trying to contain or stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so let's take a look at some synonyms for the word pandemic. All right, we're looking for a noun here. Here we go. An outbreak of a pandemic disease. All right, they just repeat the word. Here we go. Adjective, of a disease prevalent over a whole country or the world. There you go. That fits coronavirus. Widespread, prevalent, pervasive. Okay, pandemic. All right, so no visitors are allowed inside and no residents are allowed to leave. I imagine the workers can come and go, but they probably have to clean up a lot. All right, so there's an ad. Here we go. Adam said he received permission from the home to bring his tree trimming bucket truck to the building and lift himself up to his mother's third floor window. Well, that's nice. He was respectful. He communicated with them first. I'd like to come visit my mother. Is it okay if I bring my bucket truck? Not everybody has a bucket truck at home, but he brought it and he lifted himself up to visit. And I guess they said, okay. I pulled up the truck, set up the bucket, and I called her on the phone. And I said, Mom, look outside. Look outside your window right now. And there I was. Adams told WFMJ TV. WFMJ TV is just the news station or the news channel, right? So they interviewed him, and they probably thought this was interesting. A way to still connect, and even a little bit more in person, right? All right. And it said photos of the visit were posted to Facebook by Adam's uncle, and the pictures quickly spread. Now with all the attention, she's getting lots of calls from family and friends from all over the country, and it's been so great, Adams told CNN. So even CNN, which is a big news company, interviewed him. Well, I just thought this is kind of cool. Maybe he could even have a side business while, this coronavirus thing is going on. I'll help you out. It does cost me a little bit to, do my truck, the gas and all that stuff. But if you pay me a certain amount, then, I can do this service for you. So if you have a person living somewhere and you want to go up to their window, then, we can work something out. Interesting. So we just talked about this article. It is man uses bucket truck to visit mom's third floor window. So this part up here, the title on the news story, we can call it the headline, right? It's just a quick phrase or a quick short sentence which catches your attention and tells you, the idea, kind of summarizes the article. Then we went down and we read more details about what actually happened. So if I summarize the article, I would say a nice guy wanted to visit his mom, so he used his bucket truck and he surprised her by being right outside her window. Good thing he did it during the day. If he did it during the nighttime, she might be like, burglar, robber, thief, there's some crazy person outside my window. Okay, all right, so interesting article. This is kind of what you could call a feel-good article. While everybody's kind of stressed out about coronavirus and stay in, he found a way to make a connection and connect with his mom. All right, wonderful.